So it's Sunday, it's the day after the workshop, and just chilling out basically, going over some of the video, looking at some of the photos, doing a bit of debriefing, and yeah, pretty happy with everything actually. I think the workshop went really well. It was a success, and I think we got a lot across to the people that were there. It was some pretty big concepts. It was a very big concept actually, and being able to articulate that and get that message across, so that there was some change that happened in the room. It was a very cool process for me. I found it. Yeah, it was seeing Dave go on his rants, seeing Taylor change right before my eyes, um, Josh finally coming out and sharing himself, and Steve was the big breakthrough for me in my mind. Steve's been with us for, I don't know, on and off maybe 6 months, and he actually turned up through one of the promotions we did, um, attending the first workshop on a voucher. So yeah, it's been a bit of a hard, long road for Steve, but um, I think we finally got to the core problem with him, which is his career. He's not happy in his career, and Josh just happens to be a recruitment agent, I suppose you'd call him. And yeah, so it looks like Steve's going to be getting a new job soon, and finally being on a new path and doing what he actually likes to do, and get paid the kind of money that he's already earning. So that aside, we did a lot of weapons disarmament. We did some moving around with the training aids, the guns, the rifles, and it's when you see these videos of the training, just know that people who are in the room, it's probably their first time picking up this apparatus, since they were maybe kids playing cops and robbers in the backyard. And it's not that any of them are going into law enforcement or security or anything like that. It's mainly that these exercises induce some kind of level of confidence that they can start to apply into other areas of life. And like I say in the workshop, hopefully never ever will you ever be in a situation where a gun's pulled on you and you have to disarm it. The likelihood of that happening, in Sydney is very, very rare. Despite what the media says, it's a very safe place. It's a very chilled out, cool place. People are either very friendly to you, or they're on their phones or in their heads so much that they won't even, get in your way. And if they do, everyone just apologizes habitually. So the chance of actually getting a gun pulled on you is very slim, unless, of course, you're, doing the wrong thing and you've been doing it for a long time, and you've been upsetting people for a long, long time, and, they've just had enough. But for people who are on the right side of the tracks, and the people that we attract to our workshops, like I said, this will probably never ever happen to you. But it does something to the mind. It does something to your consciousness, to your psyche, when you know that even at a baseline, in a highly stressful situation like having a gun pulled on you, you at least have some form of programming, some form of training, that when you go into fight, flight, freeze mode, at least somewhere your brain can source some sort of experience to bring forth into that moment. And all of a sudden, that space in the mind that was previously unknown to you now becomes a little bit more known. Now, when you come to a workshop or a class, you're not expected to be a master gun disarmer, or a master knife defense practitioner, or a master martial artist, or anything like that. The use of martial arts or parkour or anything like that in these workshops or classes are just to give you spaces to see the problems that you're having in your life from a new place and perspective, where the problem that you have doesn't seem so difficult anymore. And if push came to shove in that problem, that situation, then you have something extra that you didn't have before that you can apply to this problem in a new way and find a solution that you didn't believe was there. Just like Steve, for example. So Steve is very committed to family, and he's a very selfless guy, and he's working in IT where the pressure's on all the time, and from what I understand, he's very, very good at his job, but he's not entirely satisfied with where he is. Now, whether that's a company thing or the people he works with or a financial thing, I don't think it's financial at all. He seems to be doing fine in that area. I think what it mainly is that he's just not getting the kind of fulfillment that he'd like out of his job. And because he's so pressured and he's caught up in that world, he didn't see a way out for himself, at least for a long, long time. And he met Josh, who was in the workshop, who just happens to be a recruitment salesman or a recruitment agent or a recruitment specialist or whatever. He finds people work, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. And he said, look, I can get you a contract, no problem. Easy. What's your phone number? Give me your email, send me a resume, and I'll make it happen. And, within a week or two, you're going to have some interviews, and then you can have your choice of what kind of job you want. And Steve was just like, really? I can't believe that actually happened. Even if nothing works out of this, just that possibility opening up in my mind allows me to go back into my job and see things from a different way and deal with my pressures and challenges in a whole new way. That happened as a result of working on gun disarming, moving around the floor with the training aids in hand, pivoting, changing, walking, all the stuff we talked about in the workshop. And it's nothing like, I'm not trying to say, hey, it's because of our workshop that, he's going to get a new job, because, he could have done that anyway. And Josh, who was in the workshop, was there the whole time. But because he was collapsed in his reality, his own mind, and he didn't see any way to fight out of that, it was like someone pulling a gun on him in his mind. So when he was able to disarm that problem and get some space on it and turn the tables, all of a sudden the possibility that was always in his reality, and everyone like in the workshop could see that. It's like, man, why don't you just get another job? And it's like, yeah, but I can't just go out there and tell people I'm this great IT guy, because probably he's not allowed to talk about what he does. So because he's probably working with sensitive information, and for all clients and companies that want to keep their information protected. So all of a sudden that possibility in his mind opened up, and because he wasn't blocking it energetically, and then he finally was able to have the courage to bring it out and talk about it and put it on the table in a place where we create a safe environment, a safe space, if you want to use that, spiritual talk, or but we definitely hold a space there where people can feel safe to bring out what they've been hiding from everyone and put it on the table, and talk about it and have a look at it and get some space and perspective on it. And of course, when other people see where people are at, naturally I believe good people want to help, and when the connection's there, it's very easy for those things to click into place, and therefore, Steve has a breakthrough. Now, it wasn't always as simple as that. We had to go through a lot of processing with him, and put a bit of pressure on, actually, for him to come forward and put that on the table. Obviously, that was all consensual. He was asking for that. That's why he's there. Um, but I just wanted to do a little video going on for a few minutes now, just to sort of decompress about the weekend, because although the energy is very high in the room the next day, I really feel it, because it's like, it's like boot camp for a whole day of the mind, for me at least, leading and holding the space and delegating things. And so that's why it was great to see Dave stand up and do his rant, which was completely in the flow. Actually went a bit longer than the video that we'll put up, but that was all one take. I had to quickly get the camera out, because I know when he gets on these, when he starts bowling in on these things, which is, his terminology, he starts bowling in, he gets into the flow and he just starts talking, and all this good stuff comes out. And so much of this has been happening in the last year, that, God, I wish I had a camera in my eye that I could start recording and put this back onto you guys, because there's been so much good stuff that's come out. Unfortunately, we don't have that, and the only time that we really capture is when we either sneak it in there, and like I said, I had to grab the camera, or you're at a class, you're at a workshop where you get to see it live. We're not one for staging things, so you won't see many glossy videos all neatly cut together and all that sort of stuff. We'll do that as well for a bit of promotional stuff, because that's what's expected, and we need to do that as a business side and a marketing side. But I like these raw videos where you get to see it uncut. You get to see it from start to finish with all the mistakes. The lighting's not great. There's pauses. We repeat saying the same thing over and over again in different ways. But you get to feel the essence of what's going on. So, in this video, you're watching this, if you're still watching this, and there's a certain energy being transferred to you from me to you. You get to see it through all of my micro behaviors. You're picking up on it, doing mind reads, body language reads. You're hearing the tonality in my voice. All these things are giving you little clues as to what kind of state I'm in. So I just wanted to put this out there, because, we're not superhuman. We're not pretending to be. We're not gurus. We're not pretending to be. We're just people who are really interested in this stuff, who, for me, we're not even sure what to call it yet, but the closest thing I can come to is called biohacking, where we're really delving deep into the mind, the automatic processes, the stuff that happens automatically without our conscious awareness. We're bringing consciousness and awareness into those, places, like breathing, like fight, flight, freeze responses, like the dark side of things, the occult thinking, the things we hide from others because we want to maintain an image. Fuck all that shit. We're going to put that all on the table. We put it on the table ourselves in workshops and classes. Often we go first, just to prime the pump for people so they can feel like it's okay to do that. And then when that starts to come out in the people in the classes and the workshops through our clients, we just go to work and we all work together on this, and it helps everyone. One person talking about their stuff, and I'm not talking about deep dark secrets and intense therapy, but little problems that everyone has, whether it's in work, whether it be in relationship, whether it be in fitness and health, whether it be in finance, whatever it is, we put it on the table. And first thing is, most people think, hey, I'm the only person going through this. No one's going to understand me. And as soon as people start to talk about it and have the courage to put it on the table, everyone in the room's like, yeah, I've been through something similar. This is my flavor on how that happened. And we start to go to work on the algorithm, the programming, the nuances that go with that, what it's linked to, why it comes up, what are the triggers, all that sort of stuff. Excuse me, all that stuff we start to identify. And then once that's all on the table, we can see a space that's not quite, it's not us anymore. We can see it from another perspective, and then we can start to accept that slowly, own it, become relaxed in it, and then start to change it. And then we can change it into whatever you really want to change it into. So there you go. Just a little video, 15 minutes. Hope you enjoyed it. I just thought I'd put it out there. See what you think.